d'où vient votre passion pour l'horreur?
It's very difficult to understand one's own passions, you know. But I think, you see, I feel the genre, the horror genre, protects me. If I had gone to 20th Century Fox in Hollywood and said, I would like to make a movie about a pair of lovers, then one of the lovers becomes very sick, cancer or something, begins to die, and then asks his lover to kill him, and she does, and that's the end of the movie. They would say, we will never make this movie, you know, it's too depressing, it's too dark, no one will ever see this movie. But that is what, but if we say, but it's a horror film, they say, ah, okay, that's all right. So I think I'm nourished by the genre, you know. It's about the most basic human emotions and fears, and it's beyond politics, it's beyond science. When you are doing a horror film, you are dealing with very powerful emotions and images, and that gives me energy.
Est-ce que, d'une certaine manière, transposé dans l'horreur, vous acceptez cette différence qui serait similaire à celle qu'il peut y avoir entre pornographie et érotisme? Et aussi, est-ce que, dans l'horreur, est-ce qu'il y a des limites que vous refuseriez de dépasser?
Well, I think there is a place for pornography and also a place for eroticism. I think they do different things, and they're both created by human beings. I don't think that to say something is pornographic is necessarily to say that it's bad. It depends on what kind of pornography. So the other thing is that I think in terms of the limits, it really depends on the film, the specific film, because I don't think that there is anything forbidden. I mean, I think that what an artist must explore what is forbidden by society. I think there's a sense in which all art is subversive, and part of what is subversive is that you explore things that are considered not to be touched. But at the same time, you can destroy your own film by going too far within the film. Each film has its own limits. In the Dead Zone, for example, there is not very much. It's not very explicit, but that's a different film. First of all, some things I feel that my audience cannot imagine. I have to show them because I don't think that if I put it off screen, I don't think that they would imagine it themselves. So I'm showing them something that I don't think they could possibly imagine themselves. Another thing is that I'm saying the problem of repulsion is a big question, because most people, you look at your own body. If you open up your body and look inside, most people would be disgusted. But that's very strange, because it's you. It's your own body. Now, to me, that's an interesting question. Why is our aesthetic limited to the outside? You think of a beautiful woman, but you only think of her exterior. If you open up her body, turn her inside out, suddenly she's disgusting. Now that confuses me, you see? So I want to discuss that in my films by making the audience see that some things disgusting are also beautiful. And also in this love affair between these two people, I'm saying that if the woman is forced to, if she wants to continue to have some relationship with this man, she is forced to look at him, even though he's now changing and becoming disgusting. And to me, that's like a child who watches his parents grow old and become perhaps disgusting, perhaps repulsive, because they're so old and infirm. But he loves them, so he still sees them. Even in the hospital, you go to visit them, it's not pleasant, but they are still human. So I'm asking my audience to be as passionate as the woman, as the lover in this movie, and that they will still come back to see this man, even though he is becoming difficult to watch, and to say, well, I'm changing, but am I really disgusting or am I just different, you know? So this is the subject of the film, and that's why I feel it necessary in this film to show some things which are not necessarily easy to see.
Est-ce que vous considérez que la plupart des récits de la mythologie peuvent être considérés comme les ancêtres, ou bien en tous les cas participent à la même veine que le cinéma fantastique et d'horreur?
The mythology, we say?
Mythologie, yes.
Yeah. In a sense, yes. I mean, because myths work on a metaphorical level, but they refer to everyday life, and I think it's the same. A fantastic film for me is not an escapist film. It's not an escape away from reality. It's a surreal, it's a super reality. So that for me the best fantastic films are about reality, not about you know, some escapist fantasy.
Mais il y avait une différence fondamentale, me semble-t-il, entre vos films, par exemple, et la mythologie, c'est que Jupiter, s'il décidait de se transformer en cygne ou en taureau, achetait toujours son billet de retour. Il redevenait Jupiter quand bon lui semblait.
In some of the mythology. But, you know, some mythology is very horrible also, and some very terrible things happen to some of the people. And I think for those who believed in the myths, they were very real. I think for us, there are some changes we make which we cannot reverse, and that's partly our tragedy, you know, but we must look at it. We must, you know, this is something we have to deal with.
Mais je me suis quand même demandé si ce n'était pas un peu cette idée mythologique qui vous avait fait choisir, par exemple, Goldblum, dont on nous dit, il incarne un personnage, dont on nous dit, on sait dans l'histoire qu'il est plus intelligent que la normale, et en plus, lui, il est aussi plus grand.
Yes. Well, I think in the cinema, everything is plus grand, you know? I mean, the cinema is, it's like opera. I mean, there is everything is larger than life. Even a very small actor, when he's on a big screen, is 40 feet tall, you know? So you become larger than life when you are in the cinema. But it's necessary, I mean, to be extreme in order to illuminate what is ordinary. That's, I think.
Il y a un moment dans le film où Seth, donc Goldblum, apparaît au-dessus des toits et regarde les gens qui arrivent. Il est là comme une gargouille. Il rappelle le Quasimodo de Notre-Dame de Paris. Je suppose que c'est voulu.
Yes.
Ce n'est pas par hasard.
Yeah. Not just the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but King Kong. He is a monster like many monsters, you know. At that moment, it's a film a moment in the film which I think would remind you of many horror films. But I knew that. It was accepted.